What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden, and I'm going to go after Kamala Harris something fierce here. I had to sit and ruminate on exactly what I wanted to say in this video, and the first part is going to be a Hail Mary to Kamala's metaphorical head, and then the second part of it is going to be kind of like a little more lighthearted, kind of a joke, me just kind of jabbing at her. So first and foremost, let's talk about what she said. Earlier this week, Joe Biden tasked Kamala Harris with, taking care of the crisis at the border. And at first I heard that, I'm like, oh, here we go. Kamala, in charge of ICE. That sounds like a match made in hell. So, as it turns out, I was very much correct on that, and her words when she went to Guatemala 2 days ago seemed to indicate that she's like the least suitable person for that job in the world. So I'm going to read to you here from The Guardian. On Kamala's first trip as vice president, she visited Guatemala on Monday. At a press conference with Guatemala's president, Alejandro Giammattei, the former California senator spoke about investigating corruption and human trafficking in Central America and described a future where Guatemalans could find hope at home. But she also had a very clear message that undocumented Guatemalan migrants would not find solace in the U.S. border under the Biden administration. Quote, I want to be clear to folks in the region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border, she said. Do not come. Do not come. End quote. So, if any Guatemalans ever see this, you're absolutely welcome to come and seek asylum. It's within your legal rights to absolutely do so. Kamala Harris knows that. She was district attorney and attorney general in California for a long time. So you're well within your rights to come here. What she's saying there is a coded message to people from Central and Latin America that says, come at your own risk because we're going to beat the shit out of you, brownie. Kamala Harris is one of the whitest and most elitist people on the planet. She just happens to have black skin. If you know anything about her record, you know she is absolutely racist. She does not like black and brown people. This should not surprise anybody, leading me back to my original point. When she came out and said this, everybody else was like, oh, did you hear what Kamala Harris said? She's starting to sound like a Republican. She sounds a lot like Trump. And I wasn't quite sure why people reacted like that, because my first thought was like, yeah, it's Kamala Harris. I've said it numerous times on the show. She's racist as fuck. She hates black people. She hates brown people. Her record has shown that. And if I now may get a little bit more lighthearted, if you were to ask me what I thought Kamala Harris would say when she went down to Guatemala, my first thought in my head would have been, fuck, she's going to go down there and be racist as shit. I would have put money on the fact that she was going to say, or the possibility that she was going to say something like this, rather than not say it. It seems obvious. Of course she's going to say something like this. My first thought when I saw that she was being tasked with the border crisis was, fuck, man, the first thing she's going to do, she doesn't know how to handle this. She's just going to go out and tell all those countries to stay the fuck away. And that's what she did. She goes out there and she's like, don't fucking come around here. I don't want to have to do my job. I don't want to have to do border patrol and, stop acting racist. I want to continue being racist and don't make my job harder, so just stay away from our country. And that's what she's going to do. She's going to but she's going to threaten all of these countries. Let's not forget also, a lot of these countries have immigrants coming to our country because we continually destabilize their countries or install dictators and perform coups. So if we would just stop destabilizing these countries, we wouldn't even have an immigrant issue. I digress. Anyway, my point is if you know anything about Kamala Harris's record, you know that this was obvious. This was what was going to happen. She's just going to tell all these Latin American countries, stay the fuck home, brownie, or we're going to beat the shit out of you at the border. In coded language that sounds a lot nicer, there's more hope for you at home. Don't come here because we'll fucking hurt you. So that's what Kamala Harris was actually saying there, and it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that knows her record. If you guys remember correctly, I will actually put a link to this below. Everything you need to know was exposed about Kamala Harris by Tulsi Gabbard during the debate number 2 last year. Tulsi poleaxed Kamala and her campaign by herself in basically two answers. And she went after Kamala Harris's record against black and brown people. And in that attack, which landed heavily and had Kamala Harris out on her feet, she talked about how Kamala Harris kept an innocent black man on death row by not allowing the investigating that person to use up-to-date DNA technology on the DNA evidence that was in there. She kept him on death row. While she was Attorney General in California, 1,600 people went to state prisons for marijuana-related crimes. And then right before this debate, Kamala was famously on the Breakfast Club laughing when they asked her about if she'd smoked weed, and she said, yeah, I did inhale, and then laughed about it, even though she's put over 1,600 people in state prison for marijuana-related offenses. And she's pro-cash bail, which disproportionately affects black and brown people, as Tulsi said, in the worst kind of way. So I don't agree with Tulsi on everything, but that was fucking brutal, and it told you everything you needed to know. And anybody that watched that debate should have not been surprised at all that Kamala Harris is doing racist shit and not wanting to do her job at the border, so she just tells everybody to stay away, otherwise we'll beat the shit out of you. Does it surprise you? She's a cop, after all. Cop Mala. Does it surprise you that she gets all, forceful in your face? Don't come. Don't come. Ugh. Dude, just listening to Kamala's rhetoric makes it feel like I'm never going to come again. So, that's all I have to say about that. I told you I'd make a little bit more lighthearted towards the end there. But Kamala Harris, this is who she is. Anybody that knows anything about her, this is not surprising whatsoever. She's racist as fuck. She just happens to be black. We'll see ya.